Hello my art friends, welcome back to the art room. Mrs. Larrabee here. On to the part 2 of our spray can art project. I am so excited to see how you guys use our next 2 elements of art to complete your project and make your spray can look 3-dimensional. The supplies that you'll need is something to color with, colored pencils, crayons. I'm going to show you how to use those 2 supplies. If you want to use markers or even paint, I'm fine with that. And you also need your paper from last week where we drew this. If you missed this lesson, you'll want to go up to the archive tab at the top of the screen. You'll see archive lessons for 3 through 6th grade. You'll find part 1 of the lesson where we talked about our first 3 elements of art. I'm going to see who can remember. Give you just a minute to say them. What are the first 3 elements we used in this picture? Oh, I know, I heard you all say it, right? We used line, shape, and form, and I have some hand motions to go along with it. Let's try these together. We used line, shape, and form. Just pretend like I'm putting my hands around a ball. We talked about those 3 elements and how they applied to our drawing last week. We used form to make our spray can look 3-dimensional. This week we're going to do the same thing with our next 2 elements. The next one is color. I like to pretend like my pinky's a paintbrush. And value, like I'm pushing that color from light to dark. All right, so let's practice those hand motions. Do them with me, okay? Line, shape, and form, color, and value. All right, let's get on with it. Let's find out a little bit more about this. Color is exactly what you think. It is color. Bring out your color pencils, your crayons, whichever one you have, and I want you to find the red, yellow, and blue colors. We're going to kind of make, you guys have probably seen a color wheel before. We're going to make our own color wheel for just a moment and talk about colors. All right, I'm putting them, right now they look like it's less of a wheel and more of a triangle, right? Red, yellow, and blue are primary colors. The root word prime means 1. These are our first colors. If you would like these colors, you have to have the raw natural elements to make them. You cannot mix these colors from other colors. These are our primary, our first colors. The crazy thing is every other color in the color wheel is mixed from these 3 colors. That is so mind-blowing to me. So red and yellow, when they're mixed together, make orange. So add orange between your red and yellow. Blue and yellow, when they're mixed together, make green. You can add your green here. Blue and red, when they're mixed together, make purple, also called violet. So these colors that the primary are mixed together to make are called secondary colors. Oops, there we go, secondary colors. So we have primary meaning 1, secondary meaning 2. And if we were to continue mixing, we could fill all of this in. So if we had, oh, green's a good one to show. If we have blue and yellow mixed evenly, we'll make a green. But if we add a little more yellow than blue, we could get a yellow-green. And so you would have all of these colors fill in between these 2 to fill up the color wheel. There's some neat things to do with color. We're going to talk more about it as the year goes on. I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek at what the color wheel is, and we'll be back to see it again in another project. All right, so let's see what the color wheel can help us do with value. So value is the darkness to lightness of a color. Value is shown here in my spray can where there's dark blue on the edge and it moves to lighter blue in the middle and then it fades back to darker blue. That is me showing the value of this color. And the reason that it helps with form is it actually makes it look 3-dimensional, like light is shining on the front and there's a shadow as it moves back. Value can be used in this way to add form to a subject. It can be used for other things too, but in this project, form. All right, so let's pull out our artwork and let's talk a little bit about technique and how we can add this value to our picture from last week. All right, so everyone named their color, right? So choose that color, whatever you named yours. I named this one emerald green, so I'm gonna get my green. we're going to talk just a minute about how to use colored pencil. The same thing is going to be true with crayon, and you've probably used them. You might be thinking, Miss Larrabee, I know, but maybe I can tell you a couple of little tips that would be helpful. This will work the same with crayon. In a moment, I'll show you one that I did with crayon. You can see. But you want to hold it just like you would a regular pencil. And we're going to start coloring in. I like to start with the darkest side of my picture, so where I know the darkest part's going to be. And on a can that's standing in the light, the darkest side's going to be the ones furthest away from you, so it's going to be the two sides. So go ahead, you can work along with me. Add dark to your sides. And as you start to go towards the middle, I actually will move my fingers down my pencil. It helps me to not press down quite as hard. You can do it without moving your hand, but that's just one little trick to help you get a little lighter as you're drawing. I like to go in the same direction the whole time that I'm doing this, but then I'll come back and cross hatch the other way in just a minute. All right, as I move to the middle, I'm just continuing to move my hand down a little on the pencil. It's a little harder to do on the crayon because they're just shorter, right? But it's still the same idea. I'm putting less pressure. When you get to the middle, you want to almost leave it white. In fact, I'm probably going to leave a little bit that is white. I'm going to go back to the darker side. Notice I'm regripping my pencil down lower. And I'm coming back to where I'm going to have the shadow on the other side. Okay, when I kind of get it done that way, I like to turn my paper. And I'm just going to add, you don't have to do this if you want to keep it all going the same way you can, but I like to add just a little bit. This is called cross hatching, when you go one direction and then the other direction, and you're doing it purposefully. This is different than just, scribbling on your paper, right? I'm purposefully making my lines cross over each other. I like to go back and go from a side angle or even straight across as well, and just get these little corners, make it a little darker on the edge. Plus, that makes your lines run side to side or horizontal, and it's just another way that tricks the eye. There's an airplane flying over. I bet you guys can hear that. It's just another way that it tricks the eye. I shouldn't say tricks. It trains the eye. It makes the eye think that it's moving around when the lines go that direction as well. All right, so there's kind of the idea of using value to add form to a item in your picture. I would do the same on the top. I like going dark around the edges and then lighter through the middle. You can see that I did it at a little different rate than down here because the light would shine on it a little different. So it's not as dark on the top. And here's what that same thing looks like with crayon. So same concept, darkness to light. I pressed down a little bit more here, then I got lighter as I went across. All right, so take a moment, pause, and finish your spray can. And then let's come back and work on the rest of our project. All right, so we have made form with our picture. And next we're going to just start adding color to the back. So on this one, I just was so excited to add color to these little squiggly lines that I used color inside on my pattern, and I left this blank. You know what? It's your choice as artists. You could color this in as well. I think that actually would look really nice. Another thing that I think would be kind of cool to do is to leave these black and white and color in a section. So I was going to do that just for a moment while we chat. For 1 minute more, while you think about how you want to do it, here, I'll put this in here. You can consider how you want to do it. But I would do something similar where I go from dark to light. Here I am cross hatching again. Notice how I go one direction, and I go that way from the entire span of my space. And then I come back the other direction. And I'm moving my hand down my pencil to get it lighter. And you know, I probably went a little light, a little soon, because I'm gonna run out of color by the end. So I could come back and darken this up by going the other direction. That, I don't know, I'm kind of excited to see how this would look at the end. So I'm going to continue on with that, and I'll show you guys at the very end what that final looks like. All right, so here we go, 2 different views. One, I don't know, I can't decide which one I like, but one with the colors and leaving the pattern black and white, and another with the pattern colored in. You could also go back in and color this as well. That would look nice. I can't wait to see what you decide to do as the artist with yours. Always email me if you have any questions or if you'd like to show me your artwork. That would be fun. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week with another lesson.